All right, we're live. Finally, I'm back into recording semi-regularly. And we have a Ghastly Affair campaign. Since my Ghastly Affair one-shot got a few viewers. I have 4 players who will introduce you a little bit later. And that way I know I'll have at least 4 viewers on this YouTube video. But Ghastly Affair, it's a gothic horror role-playing game. And you'll find out a little bit more what this is about. I don't want to spoil it for our players. So we are in the year 1765 in France. And there are a couple teenage girls playing. This account happened just a couple years before our main story will take place. One of these girls is Elise de la Coens, the daughter of the governor of this city. The other girl is a young girl named Sarah Rose. Sarah, you would know that Elise, for most of her life, her family has been very overprotective. You don't know why. You live in a relatively safe village that used to be a hunting town for the king. And you've been trying to convince Elise for years now to kind of leave her shut-in residence and join you to the garden. And so finally, you found a way to sneak out of class a little early. And strangely enough, you, for the good of her curiosity, encouraged her to come to this garden. With this being a previous hunting village, the garden you're taking to is a very beautiful garden that leads all the way up to the wood line. In fact, it's almost like a beautiful bridge that goes from the wilderness into this domestication of botany. Daniel, why don't you describe what this garden looks like?
So it's late spring, right? So the garden is just in bloom now, and the roses haven't quite come in yet. But the early spring blooms are starting to come up. They're low, and the grasses are coming up. And Sarah would take off her shoes and walk and enjoy the nature, trying to get at least to do the same. The path is it's cobbled, but it's filled in the cracks with mosses that grow because it's not well tended in that sense. Just foot traffic.
Yeah, you can tell that there is a little trepidation from Elise at first. For one thing, she is wearing some nicer school clothes, and so she's a little bit afraid to get dirty. But for her to fully experience this garden, the one that she could just barely see from the distance outside her window, you just see a smile kind of creep upon her face. And before you know it, she goes from staying kind of safe on the cobbled path to being in the dirt and running barefoot next to you. So she's smiling and laughing, and she'll look to you and go, "Sarah, why didn't you bring me here earlier?"
Well, you need to be ready. We all must have our time.
Well, I don't see why my father wouldn't let me experience this.
Well, sometimes fathers can be overprotective. That's for sure. But be careful not to get your dress dirty. And I roll mine up high so it doesn't touch the ground. It's just above my knees now, showing her how to do it.
Yeah, and she'll kind of follow through. Her dress, both your dresses are made of pretty good material, so they're hold pretty nicely. And after several minutes of just kind of running around and you showing her your favorite flowers, just laying down and enjoying the nice breeze, the grass on your back, you hear a troubled cry coming from the forest. And you'll recognize this as the cry of a relatively newly born fawn.
Oh, Elise. Do you hear that? That's nature at its finest, a baby. Come, let's take a look.
And you'll kind of go to the edge of the garden, and you'll see through some of the thick brush that there is, in fact, a fawn that's caught in some briars, just kind of crying as it's trying to pull away. The thorns are sticking farther into its skin, and no mother animal or anything appears to be there to help it.
Okay, so I'm gonna, because I don't want to get my dress too ruined, I'm gonna take off the outer part of my dress, so I'm just wearing the underskirt part, and try to find a branch or something to move the briars away from the animal, talking softly to it as I approach.
Yeah. And so you'll look around. You'll see that Elise is going to kind of follow you. And why don't you go ahead and roll, since you're good with animals?
I'm good with animals. Would that be charisma?
Yeah, it's charisma and +3.
All right, so that would make me an 18, and I got a 9.
All right. So you're going to kind of slowly be able to calm it down. It's not going to be pulling against the briars anymore, making this any tougher on you. And kind of very easily, you'll be able to use this piece of wood to free it. It will kind of look up to you and think, and then almost look past you and Elise and run away. Not really in, fear or in pain, just like it's been dismissed. And as you turn around, you're going to see a older man standing just 3 or 4 feet behind both of you in the pathway that you came through to reach these briars. You can't tell the age of this man. He looks elderly, even 70 or 80. He looks like he's wearing royal clothes, but royal clothes that are, a century or so old. And what is the most disturbing fact about him is he's going to kind of reach out his arm, and as his sleeves pull back, you're going to see long fingernails, about 3 or 4 inches. Even though they're long, they're a little bit manicured, but underneath, you're going to see moss just kind of growing.
Oh, gross. Is there a chance I might faint here?
What's that?
Is there a chance I might faint here?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
And he's going to kind of pull these nails close to you, almost as if he's going to stroke you in the face. And he's going to say, "Well, hello there, ladies."
Hello, good sir. We were just there was an animal hurt, and we had to help it.
Yes, it's so kind and so good that you beautiful girls would come and help out nature. There is certainly something special about you. And you're realizing that this old man's eyes are being drawn more and more to Elise as he's speaking. And you'll see her shudder a little bit as the outside of her cheek is tickled with these kind of mushy, long fingernails. And he'll say, "Do not worry about anything. I am just here to check on an investment."
Well, I don't know anything about that. The town is back that way, and I point towards the town.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the wrong direction because I'm bad with directions.
Yeah. And he'll say, I think I've already found what I want. And you'll see that he'll kind of make a clicking voice with his tongue as he pushes the hair back of Elise. At this point, she's frightened and kind of backing away. She's looking at you for help, And she'll say, you can't do anything to us. My father is the governor. And he'll just kind of smile and keep on making this ticking sound, saying, I am well aware of who your father is.
Okay, I want to try to grab her by her hand and then just like kind of rush her off back towards the thing. I'm gonna say, "Come on, we're late. We have to get to dinner. Nice to meet you, sir." And I'm gonna try to get away.
He said, "Oh, why are you leaving so soon?" And in kind of your first couple steps down this clear path behind him, you'll realize that it's growing a little bit higher in the undergrowth, almost as if these roots and these new sprigs are grabbing at your feet. I need you to make either dexterity or strength.
Okay, well, I'll do dex if I can, because that's better.
That works.
12. 14, so I failed that.
Fail. Yeah, so you're kind of running through, and one of these longer, kind of silky new sprouts going to grab up and just kind of trip you, sending both of you on the ground. Mud now covering your undergarments.
Oh, God.
However, you'll hear kind of loud masculine voice kind of yelling out from the garden area, Elise! Elise!
Okay, I yell, over here, over here.
Mm-hmm. And he'll run, and you'll see just with like a broadsword blade just cut through some of the overgrowth and reach you. And just with his eyes on Elise and Sarah, or you and Elise will say, what are you doing in the forest? You were supposed to be home from school 20 minutes ago. You'll recognize this as Bo. He's been appointed as kind of like the royal family bodyguard. And so kind of a young soldier looking figure.
Okay. It's not Elise's fault. I asked her to come with me. I wanted to see the new growth in the spring and the garden.
Yeah. He'll say, I knew that he wouldn't make such a foolish choice alone. But what are you doing in the forest?
We heard a fawn that was hurt, so we went to help, and then this creepy man, he tried to touch us with his moss fingers.
And he'll look around, and even you'll get a chance to look around and point where this man was. And you see throughout the forest that there's pretty heavy brush that he could have ran in and hid. But there's no sign of the old man. There's no sign of the fawn. And there's no sign of the briar bush that the fawn was trapped in.
Oh, I don't know. I swear, it's the truth.
Yeah, he says, well, we'll see whether or not the governor brings you. Elise, it's time to go home. And over the next few weeks, adjustments were made. While Bo didn't really believe in your story, the governor did. And the governor took some precautions to see that it would never happen again. One thing was to try to keep you away from Elise, but after a few weeks, he found out that that would be nearly impossible with you being such close friends. However, he did find some other ways to do this. And with that, a couple years have passed, and a fairly nice carriage is pulling to the outskirts of town. Emmeline, you are pulling in to Rivergale, this town, and in some of the stories you've heard, some of the illustrations you've seen, this really is a hunting town where the forest runs straight over the town. Just a beautiful place to hunt, to sightsee. However, on your approach, you'll realize that all the forest has been cut down off this town about 70 feet. So there's just kind of like this dry, barren, not even that grassy land that has stolen all the beauty and charm from this town. You'll also see that there's wooden or mortar walls that run about 70 feet high around the town, which blocks really any vision of the forest from the town or vice versa. And so as you're looking out your chariot window, you see this expanse of beautiful forest down the road. But once you approach the town, you see this very strange retaining wall. And as the door opens, there'll be a young maiden who opens the door and says, Madame Delacourt?
This is correct.
She says, Madame, I hope that your travel was a very fine, safe one. My name is Rosa, and I've been appointed to make sure that your visit here to Riverdale is the best possible. Is there any way I can help you? Are you fatigued at all from your trip?
Well, my travel is of no business to you.
I'm sorry, Madame. Of course not.
Well, considering help, what about if you get someone to get my luggage, will ya?
She says, yes, of course. I apologize. The cabin you're staying in was once a royal cabin. But
Cabin.
well, yes, but it's a very fine lodge. It's the nicest that we have. Many of the king's friends.
So. Huh.
Yes. So she said, well, it's just a little bit away. However, because of the fence, we'll have to take you through town. And so you'll go and you'll realize that the roads of this town are still relatively unpaved. This town, at least the middle of it, was not meant at all for carriage rides. So everything in the carriage is kind of rattling, bumping, shaking. You're sure that the wheels are going to need a bit of repair.
Is the girl with me?
No, she will meet you there. She was able to walk, which will be a quicker walk than taking a road big enough for a carriage to get there. But after kind of a long, uncomfortable ride, you will see that there is a very large, what she called cabin. It's closer to a lodge, which was one of the lodges used by the king back when he hunted this area. The outside, you'll see that the cedars that were cut down are still in very fine care. And at least from the outside, even though it's centuries old, it appears to be perfectly suitable for someone of high class.
So I lift my skirts as I get out of the carriage and I walk a little bit to the left and then back to the right in front of the door, looking around. And I look to the girl and say, so tell me, girl, why is there money for such a very not pretty wall, but not for some roads?
I'm sorry. I could inquire the governor, but the finances are not what I'm aware of. However, I am sure that he has put money aside to make sure your visit is truly wonderful.
Of course, I'm sure of that. She sighs.
And she'll kind of open the spacious cabin, and you will see that it's quite nice, but it's nice in the aspect if you were really do like the masculine hunting scene. There's a whole lot of prize, really taxidermied antlers on the wall. There's furs and rugs. There's old antique guns. Which, if that's your taste, you enjoy it. If that's not your taste, then
Yeah, she or I look not too pleased, but I say, well, this will suffice.
so you say, "Oh well, please make yourself at home, and in a couple of hours, I will be back for you when your appointment with the governor begins."
Of course, I will wait.
And yeah, you'll see there is a very big circular window that used to be what would look out into the forest. However, now you just see this wooden planked retaining wall. And off the very top of it, you just see the tops of the trees. However, one of the windows is the only good view you have. It's a very quaint but beautiful flower garden. And this garden, outside of kind of the not great industrial looking wall, this garden is really the only thing of beauty that you've seen in the town thus far.
Yeah, I would walk up to that window and just enjoy the view for some time because it will still take some hours until the governor has time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Did she mention any kind of servants or something?
She did not.
Oh, great.
All right. Give me 1 second to flip on my light because it's got dark really quick. But then
Yeah.
I'll be back. All right. I am back. So looking out this window into the garden, you will definitely see that the garden kind of leads up to the wall, even to the point that the wall appears to be cutting through what was once part of the garden. And in this area especially, you see that the wall is not just wooden, but has some stone, even though it doesn't appear to you that this would be a big area for extra defense. For some reason, it has been made to be. But in this small garden, you will see a small teen girl who appears to be enjoying the innocence of the garden more than you are enjoying the extravagance of this cavern.
Oh, hell! And I immediately lift my skirts, turn on my heel, and rush over to. Is there a garden door or something?
There is a back door too.
Yeah, I rush over there. Oh no! First, I will call servant. Oh, this is. Yeah, and I rush over there and I open the door. Girl, what are you doing there?
Sarah, you will hear someone yelling "girl" at you.
So lost in thought, Sarah looks over. She says, I'm allowed to be here. I'm allowed to be here. This is where I come to read."
Oh, really? And who gave you this permission?
Why, the Lord of the Manor, of course, the governor.
Huh. And who are you, girl?
I'm Sarah. Who are you, madam?
Is this your only name?
She goes bright red. Sarah Rose, ma'am. Sarah Rose.
I see. How fitting. And I look at the roses. Very fitting. Well, girl, I am living here for a few days maybe, so I don't wish to be disturbed.
Okay. Would you like me to cut you some flowers?
I'll look at you for a moment and in disbelief. No, the servants will do this. Are you a servant?
No, but I don't mind.
No, just don't disturb me.
Okay. I'm just reading quietly here.
And I turn around and I...
You like to read? I get up and start walking towards her.
And she already had her hand on the door handle and wanted to close the door and just get rid of the presence of that girly girl. And now she speaks to her and she closes her eyes for a moment, still turned away from her, and then says, well, everyone likes to read if he can read, of course. Who taught you? And I'll look back over my shoulder.
Well, the schoolmistress, of course. Look at this book. So now I'm getting closer. I'm like walking forward.
Oh goodness.
With my book of poetry.
Yeah, and I go back one step, but I don't close the door. I peek at the book.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty nice book of poetry. But you see written in like the pages on the side, like little kind of bad poems that I've been writing next to it in pencil, or if there's pencil back there, I don't know, maybe ink.
Well, girl, looking at those annotations, my father would have spanked me for this. You can't write in a book of poetry of thoughts. It's magic of its own kind, you know.
That's true. But, you know, I like to try to write as well. Someday I might want to be a writer.
Can't you afford some parchment?
Well, I mean, I could, but I like to write in the book because the book is mine. The parchment could be anybody's.
Just make it yours.
Okay. Do you have any parchment?
And I stare at you like this.
Kind of looking around you into the back to see what's behind you.
Yeah, and you probably see some of those big what's that called? Those cupboard luggages things? Yeah, those really big ones. Mm-hmm. And she says, or I say, I might have some parchment. Wait here. And although she seems to be warming up to that girl, she still doesn't invite her in, but probably that won't hinder her. So yeah, I turn around and I walk over to one of those luggage pieces and I start rummaging around in it.
Okay. I walk up next to you. I'm like, oh, what's that?
And you see me like jumping as I hear the voice just behind me. And I say, while I take out some paper and hand it over, I say, did I invite you in? Weren't you taught some manners, girl?
Well, no, I thought that you said come in.
No, I didn't. You should learn to listen, because only those who can listen can make their own words come true.
Oh, that's very wise. I sit down on the ground and I start writing in my book.
And you see my hand like waving to one of the chairs. You may sit on a chair.
Oh, thank you.
That's what we do
Okay.
as civilized human beings.
All right. I sit on the chair.
You know, there is a border between the animal and the human being of man. You are not an animal. And she doesn't sound too convinced, actually, as she says that.
Do you have any milk?
I don't know, girl. I
Drink,
just
buddy.
arrived, and it seems like I didn't get any servants. This is disturbing.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about that. I could get some from the kitchen. Would you like some?
Where is that kitchen?
It's over through the garden, and I give really terrible directions.
Yeah, and halfway through your directions, I say, yes, but non-milk. Try to get a nice wine, will you?
Oh, wine? Do you think that I could have some too? I never get to drink wine.
Well, they will know if they, or when to allow you to drink wine.
Well, the other girls get to drink it. Okay, I leave like my stuff there, and I go and get milk.
And I drop as I hear the door. I drop into a chair and massage my temples.
All right. During this break, we'll cut to the next scene. Is that all right? Arnold, since you're not near the high class that Emmeline is, although you received the invitation, you did not receive the personalized care. However, easily enough, you'll be able to kind of get through the couple of guards at the main gate. And almost immediately, one thing that stands out to you is there is a huge military presence in this town. A town this size might have, a constable, maybe, a couple other people who overlook it. However, all around town, there appears to be warriors, people who are even stronger or might be more trained in arms than you, who make up the majority of the population. And along with this, as you're looking through, you see a lot of these houses are kind of renovated caverns. They're rugged but yet charming. However, there's one fortress type building near the edge of the town that definitely stands out, as if a lot of money was put into this. And just from some of the bars around it, you'll realize that a very expensive prison was built within the past couple years here.
Alrighty.
Yeah, and so while you're kind of looking at this prison, an older lady, she appears to be, in her 40s, who's just kind of walking by, will see you kind of eyeing this prison, and she'll say, "A big waste of money is what that is."
That all depends on your outlook.
She says, well, when I look out, I would prefer to see something much more beautiful than that building. I mean, we hardly had any prisoners before, but yet the governor said that by having such a big prison, no one would commit any crime. He said it wasn't to keep people in, it was to keep people out. It doesn't make much sense.
Has it kept people out?
Yes, baby, but we only had 2 or 3 prisoners each year, and it's been decades since anything vast like murder has been done. and the old prison was already too large.
I see.
She'll say, you're not from around here. I know the faces of people around here. Are you another soldier that the governor has hired?
Do I have an invitation to go to the same place that everybody else is at?
Yeah, he didn't say why he hired you, but you have an invitation to meet with the governor.
A soldier, no, I am not. But I do have an invitation to see the governor.
Okay, then I don't see why he what your services. He says is to keep us safe and protection, but having all of these strong men around doesn't make me feel safe. You know, at some point you can have so much protection that they're bound to let in someone dangerous.
That is very true, but there are many things that go bump in the night. And not everyone is here to, let's just say some of us specialize in dealing with such things. Could you tell me how to find the governor's mansion, please?
He'll say, well, and he'll kind of point you to the other edge of town. And however, as he's explaining, you're kind of listening, and that gets lost because he points you past local tavern-looking area, and it kind of appeals to you that maybe you should get a quick refreshment before you meet with the governor.
Do I have to roll to resist it?
Do you want to resist it?
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking he, being an agent of the church, he'd be smart enough to know that he should probably go to the governor as quickly as he can. So there'd probably be a temptation. He would probably try to resist it, I would think.
Yeah, okay. Roll under your wisdom -3.
Shit. He's going to be drinking. Oh, shit. What if I tie it? I didn't roll under it. I tied it.
I think tie's good.
Because my wisdom is 10, so -3 is a 7, and I rolled a 7.
Yeah, I think that tying is good.
Okay.
So
Ooh.
you're gonna lick your lips. However, you will be able to kind of bypass the tavern as you head towards the governor's place.
I make sure to take note of exactly where it is so that I can visit it later.
Right. And then the very last of our party has not made it into the city quite yet. Bella, you're going to be kind of on the outside. You've seen a couple people pass in, and all you have to do is make it through this gate with 2 guards, and you're in the city. Or
yeah, so my trained pet is a monkey, and I have an accordion as my musical instrument. And I see this wall, and I go, oh, that's unusual. And I would actually ask one of the passerbys, like, that's a very tall wall. Is there something the people in town are afraid of?
Yeah, and this person will shout out, oh, well, that was built a couple years ago. And then they'll look in your direction, and they'll see your appearance and kind of shove you off and say it's to keep gypsies like you out.
Oh, that's so rude. So rude. Oh, well, like that won't keep me out.
And they'll say, well, our town doesn't need any more like you. Maybe if you're lucky, we'll let you sleep in the stable.
Well, I'm going to start playing my accordion and have the monkey lead me towards the gate. And I'm going to head towards the gate.
All right. You do have your entertaining feat. So for playing a musical instrument, charisma or dexterity. I could accept either of those.
I'll take charisma. And then
All right. And you have a +1 to it. So roll.
Nice.
Yep.
I succeed.
You succeed it?
Yeah, I rolled a 12. So
Great.
my total is a 14.
Yep. So when you begin playing and you'll see that this person next to you is just in utter disgust as other people around you are kind of getting to the music, overlooking any despisement that they might have for your kind and any social discrimination. However, at the same point, although they like your music, you do see that like eyes are kind of questioning on you. They don't know that if this is just a distraction, that they'll find out that their coin purse is missing later.
Well, the monkey is begging for coins anyway, so.
Yeah, it's cute. Yeah, and since you passed, you will gain some coins. A whole lot of people are mainly watching, but you'll see a couple children have dropped in coins. So you'll get a couple, 17 or 18 coins just from you playing around. But before too long, one of the guards will approach you and say, do you have reservations to play music here?
Outside the gate?
He will say, the person I work for has hired one of your kind.
Of course, it's me. He hired me, Bella, famous monkey grinder and accordion player.
And he'll say, he'll kind of call out for the people that, the show is over, and he'll introduce himself as Bo. A couple years older than in the prequel, but he's aged a lot older with stress, and he'll lead you to the governor's house. You'll see that although he's trying to be a little bit hospitable to you, he will also keep a pretty good eye on you.
I will bring up the wall again. Like, so those are really tall walls, magnificent structure. What made people want to build such tall walls?
You'll say it's for the safety of all of us. Tall walls. Yeah, tall walls can prevent travelers who should not be in the city from staying with us.
Are you under imminent attack? I see a lot of soldiers too.
Mm-hmm. He'll say, perhaps this is a better manner to talk about once we reach the governor's house. I believe that you have more talents than just playing your instrument.
Oh, very many talents. And I smile, and there's like a gold tooth right, and it sort of gleams in the sunlight when I say that with my smile.
Yeah. Despite that charismatic smile, Bo will just kind of nod in affirmation, saying, "Well, hopefully, you are as good at repealing some things as you are attracting people when you play." And he'll go ahead. Do you want to say something?
No, I would actually sort of bring up like, and the pay is good too, I believe.
Mm-hmm. He will say, for those who do their job, pay is always fair. However, I cannot promise handouts like the children gave you for playing your instrument. You'll have to earn money here.
Oh, I always earn my money. Come along, Boo Boo, and I pull along the leash for the monkey.
Yeah. In this time, eventually, Emmeline was freed from the curiosity of Shara, because Shara, you were called to the governor's house to play with Elise. And just a few hours later, Arnold would have arrived, quickly followed by Bella, and then finally, Emmeline would arrive in her carriage. As you come to the room, you'll see that the family is just finishing their meals. Shara, you had the pleasure of eating with the family. However, once he saw that there was a meeting, the governor can very quickly dismiss everybody. And after kind of kissing his wife and bidding Elise and some of his sons goodbye, he'll look to you, Shara, and say, Shara, perhaps it's time for you to go home.
Actually, the lady over there wants me to help her with some things. I think she was very friendly to me earlier, and I think that she wants me to help her with some poetry. I've written some. I want to show her.
And I'm looking like totally oblivious. What? Were we present at the meal, or?
You were not. This was a family meal. Even though your stomach's probably rumbling because no servants would have prepared you food.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yeah, so I'm looking totally oblivious somewhere else.
Yeah, so the governor, you can tell that you're still not on his good side.
Yep.
From putting his daughter in danger a couple of years ago. So he kind of just points you out of the room. However, as you leave the room, you quickly realize that the room next door is empty. Even though he closed the door, you can still peek through and listen if you wanted to.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna sit down in that room on the floor next to the door, and I'm gonna start like writing poetry or whatever and drawing until something juicy happens.
All right. The governor is going to kind of move into this more seating room and personally greet all of you. And he will say, I am Absolon de la Coens. Forgive me for calling you all on short notice and without going into more detail, but the situation that I am afraid is going to occur is one that I have learned not to speak about. Whenever I bring it up, my wife always assures me that I am going mad. And he says, this story sounds fictitious. However, I can assure you that enough truth I have found in it that I must be prepared for anything. He'll look around and he'll say, is there any way that I could make you more comfortable before we move toward business?
You hear a grumbling of a stomach. And then I say, well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Governor. I'm very curious of why you called us. But if I may suggest a servant for my very, very nice cottage, I would be very pleased. And again, brum.
I say Arnold will speak up, and when asked to make more comfortable, he'll just look at the gentleman and say, cognac, eau de vie, any of it would be good.
Yeah, and while he seemed kind of overbeared at Emmeline's request, he'll smile at you, Arnold, and kind of point you toward the direction of his desk, where you can see that there is a few decanters of darkly colored liquids that you will be free to take.
So I'll grab one in about 3 glasses and come back and sit down. And I'd pour myself one and just kind of look to everyone else who's there. I'll offer one to Miss Delacourt and say, my lady, a drink.
Yes, please.
You could make a charisma check to try to get a servant, Emmeline, if you would like.
Okay. Do I get any bonuses? No. Oh, no. No. 19.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Well, perhaps you should have thought about the sacrifices of assisting me before you left high society.
I give a thin smile, and then I reply, well, Governor, I totally agree, of course, but would it be possible to take care of our food supply, maybe? And again, that grumbling of her stomach, and she barely can suppress it. I mean, considering she's wearing a corset, right?
Mm-hmm. And he'll kind of point you toward the family table where they were eating, and they're still, kind of portions of the roast and fruits and vegetables and bread. By this time, it has grown a little bit lukewarm. But
yeah, I kind of look to the others, but they probably don't give a shit.
Oh no, Bella would go. Bella would just say, "Oh, some bread and butter, maybe some cheese would be fine, and maybe a little bit of fruit for my little monkey."
And I'll look as if someone has poured his wine over my dress.
Sarah, you hear him mention a monkey.
Yeah, I love monkeys. And also, because I'm trying to win favor with Emilian. So what I want to do at this point, risking getting in trouble, is I'm going to pop up from the side and I'll be like, "Oh, ma'am, I could help you since you don't have a servant to help you. I'll get you a dish," and I'm going to head towards the table, as I see. But I'm also heading towards the monkey.
And you others, you see that she wants to stop her and not in a friendly manner, actually. But finally, she bites her underlip and stays silent, and you see a small nod.
Okay. So it's going to take probably like 5 times as long as it should, because I'm going to be like kind of looking at the monkey and maybe feeding it some fruit while I'm preparing her dish.
Bella, how do you think the monkey's reacting to this little girl?
Since the girl's sort of an innocent, the monkey will like it, I think. The monkey will take the food from the girl.
All right, if it's a perversity issue, I like using the dog as a perversity check. Everybody roll perversity. You don't have to, Bella, since you're a monkey.
Hold on, what do we have to do for perversity?
Roll d20 and try to get under it.
Oh,
I did.
I'm good.
Wow. Believe it or not, I rolled a 1. My perversity is 2.
Oh!
Nice.
It goes right
Well,
over my...
wait,
Wow.
you might try to roll over it. One second.
Oh, is it over?
Why?
I don't know.
Well,
It depends on what it's supposed
because
to be.
would it make sense if you had low?
The higher your perversity, the more difficult
Yeah.
it should be, not the easier it should be.
Huh?
It depends on what it is, I suppose. What is it,
Yeah.
negative?
Hold on. What are we trying to do, though?
Yeah, it should be. The
I guess to see
monkey.
if your if the whatever the monkey is doing sort of repulses you, maybe.
Well, no,
Oh.
it's
No?
the monkey is checking, like he said, because she's innocent.
Mhm.
So the monkey would be checking. But
No, it's right. You have to roll under, because if you have high perversity, you don't give a shit.
Oh yeah. That's
yeah, perversity is badness. So you don't
Yeah.
want to. Yeah. So I got it backwards. If you're rolling under it, then the monkey's not going to think you're innocent.
Oh,
That's right.
Huh?
Did anyone roll over?
No.
oh, okay.
All right. So if your monkey is a judge of innocence, it senses something not so innocent about this little girl.
Oh.
Well, that's weird.
Do you have some dirty poetry in your book?
No,
Huh?
one can only hope so.
Oh,
It screeches and pulls back.
Does the monkey have dirty thoughts about my character?
no. Well,
You started it in the chat, buddy.
yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
the monkey was like he was using the monkey to see how innocent. Well, I'm not sure. The monkey's kind of like, an animal that can kind of sense evil in people,
Oh, gotcha.
and somehow it didn't sense perfect innocence in the true innocent.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Which is, it's not my fault. It's the dice's fault. So this monkey, you're gonna be smiling at. All of a sudden, this monkey's just gonna shriek at you.
Mhm. Well, but I have also good with animals, just because we would have +3. But
So
that's-
roll. Yeah, I'll let you roll good with animals. See if you can solve a situation.
Yeah, so I'm a little freaked out by the monkey. All right, that's better. So now I'm rolling my charisma, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's better. So I rolled a 3 on under 18.
All right. So even though this monkey doesn't trust you at first, how are you able to bribe it?
Yeah, so I maybe I approach the monkey too quickly. That probably freaks it out, because I'm super aggressively heading towards the monkey, and when I see it jumps back, I say, oh, it's okay, little monkey, and I pick up some grapes, and I extend my hand slowly with the grapes in my hand, and I kind of put it out. And I wait for it to take it from my hand. I don't put it like in its face.
Mhm.
And I eat one too, so like to show him that's okay.
All right, Bella, would your monkey be okay with this?
Oh yeah, a monkey will be okay with that.
All right.
Well, that 5% of evil that's in me, the monkey sense, that's a pretty sensitive.
Well, well, judging from what Bella might have seen, that monkey might have seen some crap.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that monkey has flung harsher crap than you've been through. Like that's like a PTSD primate. So you'll see the governor just kind of like shy and say, "Well, I guess Sarah has been part of this horrible narrative herself. It's only fitting that she's in here also."
I say, who's Sarah? And I'll look around.
I don't hear you because I'm playing with the monkey and ignoring.
Yeah, by this time, like your food he's feeding your food to the monkey.
Oh man, yeah. I kind of don't look at her, so I don't see it. What you don't know doesn't disgust you, right? Yet.
Right. So he'll begin telling you for the last few generations, my family told a story which we were unsure if it was true or just a story that our cousin spread to scare us. Just over a century ago, it'll be 5 generations before him. He says, well, my great-great-great-grandfather had committed a crime against the state on this very hunting land. He accidentally killed an animal that belonged to the king. And he feared for his life and rushed into this very forest. And in desperation, he signed a blood covenant with a strange earl he met. The earl required nothing besides his next-born daughter as payment. And by this time, he was very old and never thought that he would conceive again. He returned to this village, and not only did he get away with a crime, but not long after, he was appointed to the governor position that our family has held. Now, throughout the generations, many children were born, and many people say that no daughters survive childbirth, but that is only partially true. This superstition was so ingrained in my family that even some of the daughters who survived the womb were quickly killed after. I decided that such a crime could no longer take place within my family. And when my daughter Elise was born, she was so beautiful to me, I couldn't kill her. However, just a few weeks later, I was also approached by an old man in the forest. And he showed me a document that was blood signed by my very own family member. Although I thought he was a lunatic, I couldn't go against this evidence. And he told me to prepare Elise for him because he will claim her on her 16th year. And this has haunted me for every year of her life. Just a couple years ago, Sarah and Elise ran into an old man in the forest. And I'm sure it's the same old man who approached me. Elise just turned 16 during the winter. However, with spring coming, and the forest blooming again, I fear that he might come quick to claim what is owed to him. I have put up the wall in defense. I have put up a prison that no one can break out of, but more important, no one should be able to break into to
I'll
keep.
laugh. I'll laugh as
Yeah.
he's describing his ways of defending his daughter. And I say, this won't help you in any way, Governor.
He said, I've done what I can. I've saved up money for each year of her life and have spent it all on mercenaries and other hired hands.
You should have invested that money into your streets, no offense.
Yes. He says, although I have been appointed with very trustworthy military advice that we should be safe, I was not sure, which is why I hired each of you. Each of you might not be as skilled in battling against people. However, I have faith that your experience might allow you to battle against what might come from my daughter.
So what I know from my experience is what we're dealing with.
You do have that one trait, esoteric knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You can roll.
Okay. Oh, goodness. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't know
You have no
shit.
clue.
No.
Yep.
That wasn't my area of expertise. Damn.
Yeah.
I know what it is. You see over at the table, Sarah now is no longer distracted by the monkey.
I'll look over, raising an eyebrow.
It's a moss man. He's made of moss.
The governor will kind of shy and say, Sarah, you could not protect my daughter. In fact, you put poor Elise in danger once. I do not think you'll be any help to us here either.
Well, Governor, considering that you leave me alone in my little cottage. The pretty it is, or it is pretty, but I can't stay alone, and I need my servant, and I mean she said she would take that job. I need her.
Okay, of course. I do not know when he will come or how, or even if he hasn't found something more interesting in the next few years. I can pay you to keep you on for a month, just making sure that we are secure whether he attacks or not.
I fear you're secure when he is gone, to be honest.
Yes, I would agree that also. However, he appears to be bright enough to only come at the most opportune times. He will look over at the gypsy and demon hunter and say, I've heard both of you have experience with darkness.
Yes, they seem to appear in front of me many, many times.
Yes, well, while I wish he never would appear again, perhaps it might be safer for him to appear while you are here to help. Do you have any idea what could be troubling my daughter?
Definitely some sort of creature that your ancestor has made a deal with.
I'm not going to say anything, but just kind of fixate a stare over at Sarah for a moment when she mentions the moss man,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of stare at her a little bit with my like weirdly blue eyes, and appears to be lost in thought.
Maybe we need to go through the forest and see if we can rouse out this moss man. And if not, then maybe during the evening, I would request a quarters near your daughter, because then if anything happens, we can rush to her aid.
Okay. I have hired Bo, whom you've already met. He personally will protect my daughter. I am not hiring you to protect her safely.
No, but
I'm
that's
hiring you
against-
to stop him.
Yes, but
far before he can be reached.
but in the evening, is Bo skilled with battling supernatural creatures?
I have trust in Bo, which is more than I can say about the rest of you.
Well,
and he
then-
even says that looking at Sarah.
Bo was really, really good, really handsome.
Well, if that's your decision, then it is out of my hands if anything happens to her in the evening.
I am not paying you to watch my daughter sleep.
As long as that's understood.
I'm paying you to make sure that nothing comes near her. Sarah, you would notice kind of like this icy, even like creepy stare in your direction from Arnold.
Oh, all right. So I see him and I say, I look at him and I say, are you hungry, sir?
No. I just wish to drink.
No. Me too. I mean, yeah.
I will actually take the decanter and pour her a drink in one of the other glasses and slide it across the table to her.
The governor will intercept it and say, Sarah does not need to be any more spirited than she already is.
Yeah, so Bella will grab that glass and drink it instead.
All right. I can show you where we're
the glass. I'll ask. This Sarah, child, how old are you?
I'm 14.
So you are old enough to marry? Yes.
Well, she turns bright red.
What did he say?
I said you are old enough to marry. Yes.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Is she not old enough to marry?
But not old enough to drink, apparently.
If she is old enough to fuck, she is old enough to drink.
I almost spit out my whatever I have there in my glass as I take a sip. I'll look over at you.
And I slide another glass over towards Sarah.
Sarah goes to play with the monkey.
Bella grabs the glass and downs that one.
Yeah, if you want to roll deck to like stealthily,
Yeah. I'm gonna go over to the table and see if there's any like wine.
Well, apparently I've had too much to drink because despite having a 17 dexterity, I rolled a 19.
yeah, I think at this point we should just kind of put you under the effects of mind intoxication.
I mean, I'm just trying to calm her down.
Yeah, you tried to kind of like very bartender, like Old West, just slide it across behind the governor. Really, it just like slides you off the table and shatters.
Damn it!
I like
Oh, shit.
almost invisibly shake my head. Where did I end up here?
He'll say, although I am assured that you all do have expertise, I am slightly afraid that the fate of my daughter, if not this town, could be in your hands.
That's very dramatic.
He'll say, perhaps we should all have a good night's sleep, and tomorrow you can work with the town or however you see fit to make sure this is a safe place.
I can show you where I saw the Moss Man.
Ah, that is very good.
Yes, girl. Well then, and I get up and I straighten my skirts. Well, we will leave then. I'll look at Sarah.
All right, I'll see you in the morning. And then Sarah just like takes off and leaves.
I'll look after her. What?
Skipping.
Real quick, out of character. Did Sarah describe the whole Moss Man thing earlier and I just missed it?
You just said there was a Moss Man.
Just gave the name, yeah. Didn't describe
Okay. So when Sarah tries to leave, I'm actually going to stand up and beckon and say, Sarah, may I have a word? Very brief.
So she stops and she turns and she says, I'm really not supposed to drink.
No, this will not have to do with drink. We will go into the next room. I simply wish to ask you a question.
But with fuck or what? Sorry.
You use bad words.
That was out of character.
No, he did it earlier.
I beg your forgiveness. But I do have to ask you a question. Please.
Okay.
Okay. So when I go in the next room, I'm just going to look at Sarah and say, this Moss Man, you say you have seen him.
Yes.
Can you describe what you saw, please?
He was an old man, and he was dressed in splendid robes, but they were old style and kind of worn out, and he had moss growing on his arms, and he had long fingernails, and he likes to touch hair.
Did he touch you?
No.
Okay.
He didn't, but he likes to. He tried to touch Elise.
I see. Very well. Merci. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go back into the next room. And I would like to sit in a chair. And I do have on my person a book of demonology.
Oh.
And I will take a seat and sit down with my glass of cognac and start thumbing through the book and see if I may be able to find a reference to that which she speaks of.
All right. Researching in the book is a intelligence check.
Yes, sir.
However, I think right now you're also a little bit slow-witted.
Oh, so maybe I should do it in the morning?
You can do it right now. Just at it's -3.
Okay. Come on. Hell yeah, I got it.
You got it?
At a 5.
All right. You're flipping through the book, and with the description he gave you of Moshmen, you can't really find anything that, like the closest thing to a Moshman is going to be like a living fungus type thing.
Shit.
However, since that's what you were going on, nothing like besides these like animated botanical things are going to really apply to the rest of the story.
Okay. I will, however, be still sitting over there thumbing through my book, looking very studious for such a
Drunk state.
drunken, mannerless heathen.
Yeah. What does stand out is the whole making contract thing.
Okay.
You know, something of like typical monsters and beasts don't make contracts. It's definitely something from a creature that has a plan. Almost, you know, kind of like you make deals with the devil. It's not just ravenous beast, but a very calculated creature, and probably a powerful one if it does have the power to change fate with contracts.
Okay, cool.
All of you, Gypsy, Arbella, and Arnold, you both do have other cabins to stay in or rooms to stay in. Not nearly as nice as what Emmeline has, but they have made arrangements.
Oh, that's probably a lot nicer than I normally get anyway. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
pretty
true.
happy.
So I'm going to offer Emmeline, make her the offer of a nightcap.
Well, you see her face spasm, and then she realizes what you're reading there, and she tries to straighten her face, which works pretty well actually after a few seconds.
I am handsome.
And she puts a smile on her lips and says, "Well, certainly, sir."
Sweet.
Yeah. Bella
By this time, the servants have come to clear the table.
No, Bella,
the plates are in dishwater.
No, Bella's going to grab some leftovers and put it in a napkin before they can do that.
We don't have to use the dishwater word. I'm not being.
I know.
We haven't started yet.
Locking a brother boy gets started.
So, yeah, by this time, the governor has kind of retired farther into his quarters. It's up to y'all if you'd like to do anything tonight. Honestly, for the next part of this, it's really you guys think of any protection or any ways to prepare the city so that even after you leave, it can be a safe place. If there's anything else you'd like to do tonight, then feel free. But this is by no means sandbox because it's pretty restricted, but it's up to y'all what you think would be good precautions to take.
So during our nightcap back in Emmeline's nicer than everybody else's room, I actually am going to try to discuss, as gentlemanly as I can, sort of, what I do and what I know based on what Sarah said, and basically, I guess, kind of compare notes.
Okay, before this happens, I was going to say what Sarah actually did when she ran off was she was going to sneak into Emmeline's room and try to hide in one of those giant trunks.
Oh, golly. All right.
Oh boy, she will be.
That was the plan. So this is nightcap could go really sick.
She will be destroyed.
That's okay. And because this game does center around being naughty, and because Meek and I are pretty good friends, I actually will attempt to do I will attempt to be as charming as I can.
Now, technically, you can't seduce
correct
another PC.
Correct.
However, I think consensually, things could.
As charming as I can, and then the rest of it's up to her.
I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, yeah. Go ahead.
The camera comes closer, and you only see her red lips, and she whispers, "Be my dragonborn."
I literally almost fell.
Come on, that was a good one.
I was walking back my chair, and I literally almost tripped and fell on the floor. Holy shit!
In the midst of this very strong tension, all of a sudden luggage just kind of falls down. And you'll hear a little voice, "Ow!"
Right. So I try to recover as quickly as possible. I was just I was yeah, okay. And then I'm gonna try to walk out.
Yeah, and you hear some cursing, and I try to get my skirts, my thousands of skirts, back where they belong because they're right now covering my face, and I try to look, and who is that? Who? Girl, is that you?
See you in the morning.
Oh, don't talk about it. Do you hear that? Don't talk about it. Whatever you saw.
I know nothing.
The sun sets, the sun rises.
Yeah.
So, do any of you have anything you'd like to do investigatively or protectively for this town?
The next day, I would. Is there some kind of library?
Of course,
do they have that? Oh, really? Okay.
I don't know. You said the show, so yeah, I figure why not.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't have much hope actually, but I would want to go there and check for some kind of tomes or such which might apply.
I was wondering whether I can get some paint or charcoal.
As mentioned. Or what?
I want to get some chalk or charcoal or paint, and around the outside of the walls, maybe paint the symbol against the evil eye.
Great. All right. Emmeline, what type of tome were you hoping to find?
Well, either something, like magic-y or stories or records of the family, considering, that story, that demon or mossman story. I just tried to find out some more details. Maybe about weaknesses or whatever. What might be helpful?
Roll the research thing. So roll under intelligence.
Mm-hmm. It's my end. Okay. Yeah, that's not so easy. I'm actually not that intelligent. Oh, I rolled a 1.
Nice.
Nice.
Yes, I know everything.
You are going to, even though this story is kind of have been kept within the family, you find in one of the books, it's one of these books that you don't know whether or not it's fiction, but you find a poem, and I'm going to paste this poem.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's amazing what you find in 2 seconds if you Wikipedia it.
That's Jesus Christ.
I just wrote that. So.
Oh my God.
No, not really. Who rides there so late through the night dark and drear? Sarah, you like poetry, right?
I do.
The father it is, with his infant so dear. He holdeth the boy tightly clasped in his arm. He holdeth him safely, he keepeth him warm. My son, wherefore seeketh their face to hide? Look, father, the Earl King is close by our side. Does see not the Earl King with crown and with train? My son, 'tis the most rising over the plain. O come there, dear infant, O come there with me. For many a game I will play there with thee. On my strand lovely flowers their blossoms unfold. My mother shall grace thee with garments of gold. My father, and dost thou not hear the voice that the Earl King now breathes in mine ear? Be calm, dearest child, 'tis thy fancy deceives. 'Tis the sad wind that sighs through the withering leaves. Wilt there go then, dear infant? Wilt there go with me? My daughter shall tend with sisterly care. My daughters by night their glad festal keep. They'll dance with thee, and rock thee, and sing thee to sleep. My father, and dost not see how the Earl King his daughters has brought here for me? My darling, I see it, all right. 'Tis the age-gray willows deceiving my sight. I love thee, I charmed by thy beauty, dear boy. If thou art unwilling, then force I'll employ. My father, he seizes me fast. For surely the Earl King has hurt me at last. The father now gallops with terror half wild. He grasped in the arms the poor stuttering child. He reaches the courtyard with toil and dread. The child in his arms he finds motionless dead.
And I take that book and I rush back over to the manor, and I rush over to Mr. What's his name? Chevillard, whatever, and knock on the door. Arnaud, knock, 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 knock. Arnaud.
So I will come to the door, like in a panic because I don't know what the hell's going on. Then I'll open the door.
And I immediately rush in, and you feel the skirts like brushing against you because she barely fits through the door with all those skirts. And she holds open that book and shows you the poem and says, It's the Earl King. It's the Earl King. Look at this. Look at this.
So I will take the book and read through the poem quickly.
You want me to read it again quickly?
Yes, please.
No. Without missing a beat, she said, yes, please. No, I'll read through the poem quickly. So does this strike any kind of a chord with anything that I may know, or does it still pretty much the same thing as far as the demon hunter perspective is concerned?
I'll let you roll the research thing again with a +3, since you have kind of been through the book once.
Okay. That time I got a 5.
So that will pass.
Yes.
The Earl King, I don't know what your book is, if it's like a monster manual, for like a 5e reference.
Fortunately, it's a book of demonology, so
it's a whole lot more boring than that.
Yes.
Earl King is a terrifying fairy who kidnaps unwary young travelers. Is typically seen as a crowned old man with a long white beard, long pointed ears, sharp teeth, long fingers, wearing black finery and riding a black horse. Earl King wanders through the woods seeking children and beautiful young women to abduct to his home in the other world. He is wild and cruel, delighting in the terror he inspires.
So
He has control over a whole lot of fey animals, even necromancy. This is basically the worst fairy that you could be up against.
So one would assume that in the eyes of the Catholic Church, this would basically be qualified, most likely as a demon-type entity, considering how they view such things, witchcraft and things like that.
Yeah, this is less of a demon and more of a devil.
Okay.
But yeah, this definitely is not a nice guy. You would not have an Earl King altar boy.
Okay.
They're not cute enough.
So I kind of good one. So I kind of share that information that I know with Miss Delacourt.
A devil, huh? What's the name of this man, how do you call them? Gypsy? And it's totally distaste. You hear in her words.
I believe the man's name was Bella.
Huh. And I get up and I look down the hallway.
Just follow the accordion
smell?
music. Oh, God, that's racist.
The smell.
Wow.
Damn.
What? She's like that. Yeah. What do I follow?
I'm gonna
The accordion music.
I'm gonna hurry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I slowly walk over there and I knock, and not really loudly because she kind of doesn't want to get a response, but yeah.
I'm gonna hurriedly get my clothes on so that I can follow her.
Yeah.
You weren't even dressed?
Well, I mean, I'm sure I had my pants on, but
Oh, okay.
Make sure about it. Something.
Yeah, there is nothing I haven't seen already, so.
yeah,
The monkey opens the door for you.
And I stare at that little face.
It does one of those monkey smiles,
Bellow, and I lean to the side to get a glimpse inside and see if I see it.
Yes. Oh, lovely mademoiselle.
Yes. Would you care to join Mr. Chevier and myself somewhere else than here to discuss the little problem we are working on?
Oh, yes, 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 yes. It was just relaxing here, and there's like a piece of cheese hanging out of his mouth.
Oh, and you hear that grumbling of his stomach again? It's terrible here for her. Well, yes, then, yes, follow me, please.
Come on, boo-boo, come on.
Oh, do you have to, I mean, and I look at that creature and I nod with my chin at it. Do we really have to take him with us?
Oh, yes, you never know what he's up to if he's not with me. He can be up to very much a lot of mischief.
Oh, really? Well, then, I guess it can't be helped, right? Yeah, and I go back to Arnaud's chamber. Arnaud, Mr. Chevier. Knock, knock.
Oh, I answered the door like actually dressed this time.
I say, well, I found Mr. Bello. So,
Bella.
Yes, Bello. And, well, Mr. Bello, we found out a little bit about our enemy, if you will.
By this time, Sarah's like showing up and she's reading the poem. That's great.
Hey, why not? So I'll go ahead and share the same information with Bella and Sarah, who's standing there.
Earl King.
Oh,
We.
that sounds scary.
Indeed.
What is this gray willows? Are there gray willows out in the forest?
Oh, he was in the bushes, in the briars when we found him.
Sarah, you said you saw this man. Where was this?
It was well, they've chopped down a lot of the trees now. I could bring you there though. It's like over past the, where the yeah, it's like by the farm where the old well is, but they closed it up last year because the animals were dying.
Okay. So I'm going to look at the others and say, do we wish to go to this place?
Well, no, but yes, Bello.
So you say this is like some sort of fairy king? Yes?
Yes.
Aren't fairies good though? Because I heard that your fairy godmother can give you like presents.
Oh, there are good fairies and bad fairies.
In the eyes of the church, all of them are bad. But this one is particularly bad.
Aren't fairies afraid of cold iron? Or something pure like silver? Or even gold?
Oh, I have this gold necklace.
Yes. Maybe you should bring that with you.
I will.
I suggest we let the young girl show us where she found this man.
Yes. Let's swing by the kitchen and let me borrow some silverware too.
Bello, if you're downstairs anyway, could you take care of like a little, maybe some cucumber sandwiches and
I see.
and for the travel?
Yes, I will ask them to come with a picnic basket.
Yes, please.
Just to make sure there's a bottle of cognac in the picnic basket.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
I know you should, Mr. Chevillard. You shouldn't drink that much while we are working.
It is for after work.
Well, then you can take care of this after work.
It is for immediately after work. If my lady insists.
Yes, she definitely insists.
He seemed disappointed, but
Maybe you could bring the cognac as an offering to the king. Sometimes it's good to bring a gift if you're trying to get on somebody's good side.
You little female snoop and Judas. I can't believe this. And I turn around on my heel.
I'm going to look at her while she says that and say, I like the young girl.
Maybe you should invite her the next time for a nightcap, my good friend.
She's a bit young, don't you think?
No, I don't use the nightcap.
Some men prefer the younger ones, if you know what I mean.
I prefer the pretty ones, if you know what I mean. But that's for later.
Huh.
However, if we go to this place, and I look over at Sarah and try to fixate her with my weird blue-eyed gaze, and I tell her, if we come across this man, you are to stay beside me at all times. Do you understand me?
Okay. Are we getting silverware first?
Yeah, I'm gonna get some pewter plates and silverware and a picnic basket and fill it with food and stuff. And
Bella will take care of that. But you are to stay beside me. I do not want you getting hurt. And I'm going to turn to Emmeline as well and say, and the same goes for you.
Yes. Bello, didn't you mention cold iron?
Yes. Maybe fireplace poker. Maybe we borrow their fireplace poker.
Can't you find something more, let's say, delicate? I mean, I can't envision myself holding a poker.
What about a rake?
A what?
A rake.
And she actually says that. A what?
A rake, like you use it to move the grass and the
No,
dirt.
I don't know, Sarah, because I don't rake the grass.
So Arnault will turn to you and open his cape. And he's got clothes on. Get your minds out of the gutter, guys. His cape.
He does what?
Opens his cape. But he's got
find kept the silverware in the dishwater?
I said he's got clothes on underneath. Get your minds out of the gutter. Okay, there are 2 daggers. And I'll put one of the daggers and hand them to Emmeline. And I'll say, this is an iron dagger.
But
Place it in your belt. It's more delicate than a fire poker. Is it?
well, this is definitely true, but yes.
I want a dagger.
Yeah. No, you will stay.
No.
But poker.
You escaped last time without having a dagger. You will be fine.
Because Bo had a sword.
Well, now you have Mr. Chevillard.
Do you have a sword?
I do not need the sword.
Bo has a sword.
Yes.
I bet you don't.
Bella carries a rapier, but I will take the fireplace poker just in case.
I guess I'll get a rake. I'm going to get a rake.
Oh my goodness.
That's what I need is a 14-year-old swinging a rake next to me.
Yeah.
Nothing can possibly go wrong here.
Roll a wisdom
We don't need a wisdom roll to see the danger.
No, roll wisdom at -3, Shara.
Okay. No, I don't have it.
All right, so my wisdom is 13, so 10. I got a 4. Oh, so that's
All right. Even though you have a bad change of direction, the fact that the the flower garden is a point of reference, and it was a relatively traumatic experience, you're able to take them where it happened. However, she's like 70 feet had been deforested. Like, you're just basically taking them to a place about 20 feet outside the gate. The forest no longer remains there. It was taken down and cut back. So basically, you're just standing in like this no man's land between forest and the wall.
This was the place, but since then they've cut down the trees for, well, I don't know why. Maybe for firewood.
Let me mark this place anyway. Like, push the fireplace poker into where she said it is. Maybe we have to go into the forest. Forest creatures like the forest.
What?
Did you just do Bella? Mr. Bella? Was that magic?
Yes.
Wow.
I roll my eyes.
You will walk into the forest, and it does appear to be just normal forest, but do I want wisdom or intelligence? Roll intelligence, everybody.
So anybody who has a perversity of 12 or less gets +1 if they see me.
Ooh. I'm good.
Nope, I failed.
All right, let's see.
I'm sorry, you said roll intelligence?
Yep.
Okay.
I also get to roll too. Oh, I passed. 11 out of 12.
I got it too.
If you passed, like in your head, it began to make sense. Every time the Earl King has appeared, it's been in the forest. And that in the midst of all these superstitions that you're carrying, silverware and everything, the one superstition that appears to be occurring is there's an old trait, a fairy called the fairy ban. Fairies cannot leave the woods. Based on, I'll give this to you, Emmeline, due to your erocentric knowledge. If a fairy leaves the forest or is tricked into leaving the forest, he's banished into the other world until the next season.
So I smile as I remember this, and I describe it briefly. Do you think this would be an option?
That one season, that's just 1 year.
Well, maybe we can prolong it.
Sarah raises her hand. I have an idea.
Oh, yes.
What if we made a really, really tiny forest? And then we trapped him in it, and then he would be stuck there. He wouldn't be able to leave that forest because there would be non-forest around the forest area of the mini forest that we made.
Oh, man.
No. Bella, thinks Earl King is one of those fairies that likes deals or wager. They love wagers. We wager the Earl King, and we say, "Oh, Earl King must be very fast. Bella, old man, is slow." But if Earl King wins, we give him girl. If Earl King loses, then he tears up contract.
So Bello thinks, and she's mimicking his speech pattern. So Bello thinks he's more intelligent than whatever Earl King.
No, not more intelligent, just craftier. And he's like rubbing his fingers together. I make him bet that I can get to where a fireplace poker is before he does.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I have an idea.
Oh, yes.
So last year when the gypsies came through, they did like a show and they had a bunch of fake trees. Maybe we could use fake trees. So he thinks that it's still a forest, and then he goes into the fake trees, and then he's not in the forest anymore.
I imagine silence for a few long seconds.
They cut down trees. Maybe we take, there's this famous poet. He does plays. Maybe we put sticks in the ground to make it look like a forest.
Right.
I'll look at Arnaud.
And then we pull the sticks out, and then he's not in the forest anymore. And then, or he could be in the little tiny forest if we make one.
I kind of look in pain.
He can race over, but because he's out of his forest,
when it comes to supernatural, you cannot fake it.
Huh?
We look, the bottle of whiskey's empty.
He has to be in a true forest. You cannot fake it.
No, but we find him in the true forest, so we make the wager that he has to get to the fireplace poker.
I'm only a very young woman, but I know that you can.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought we were dropping him in the fake forest.
No, but maybe we put a fake forest to pretend there's a forest there.
Yeah, so he doesn't. Otherwise, he's going to look at an empty spot and go, "I'm not going to run out there." He's not that foolish. We have to have a fake forest, so he thinks that there's a forest there. I like it.
This is very hard.
Well, I mean, I saw like things where they have little tiny trees, and you could have little tiny trees and make a forest. the men from the east do that.
I take out my fan and I almost go crazy with it.
Yeah, your head is beginning to hurt.
Oh yes.
In fact, it's gonna hurt 2 damage of lethal damage.
Oh.
What? Hold on. What happened?
Well, you're a pretty magical person.
Yes.
You're guessing that you're being targeted by a spell. Which at this point, it's pretty amazing that he's able to hit brains that he believes are so tiny. But in your head, this is a malediction spell.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that is. You go ahead and share that with the rest of the group.
I do what?
You go ahead. Is it okay? A malediction.
Yeah.
Is basically a
like
curse.
Curse, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that even though you can't see the Earl King, the fact that he views this as pure mockery, the fact that you don't respect him as much, and he heard tiny trees for the last time.
Why does he attack me? Yeah, so I start massaging my temples again, and my fan can't go fast enough, and I like blink, and I turn around, and I begin pulling at Mr. Chevillard's arm. I know.
Yes.
He's attacking me. I can feel it.
Oh, all of you can feel it.
Oh, we all do. Oh,
Yeah, you all
he's
do.
attacking us.
He's attacking all of us, you woman. God damn it.
You see, no good comes in mocking Earl King.
Yes. Do not taunt Earl King.
So I'm not going to faint, right? Because I'm not.
Is this considered a preternatural effect?
Surprised by horrible creatures or frightening scenes.
Yes.
Okay. I have a +1 to resist it.
Nice.
All right. The fact that this is kind of like an auto hit ability,
Shit.
regardless of your armor class or other protections. This is something called Elf Stroke.
Oh,
Oh.
of course it is.
Now there is one caveat. Creatures that do not have actual brains cannot be affected.
Oh.
But
So exactly how am I elf stroked?
like I said, this is a malediction. So basically, it's not that D&D is going to describe stuff at all, but this is definitely psychic damage. So I like to think almost like a migraine rush of pain. Or maybe we could take more advantage of like the stroke part. And just like the impulse in your head is throbbing. It's beginning to get a little bit worse the longer that you're standing kind of on the edge of this forest.
Well, Bella would say, Earl King, your magnificence, we are here on behalf of whatever his face and his daughter. We have come here to discuss the terms of your contract.
He will say, you'll hear a voice kind of off on the wind. However, Sarah will remember this as the voice she heard of the old man saying, I have no need for a mediator. The contract was signed in blood years ago, and she is mine.
But as you can see, he's cut back the forest. There's no way you can enter the town.
He goes, the king of the forest does not need the forest or small trees.
What if we make you a tiny forest? Then you could be moved into the area that you want to go to.
He will say, there's a reason I chose your friend over you. He'll say, tonight I will claim my prize, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I shout, what about making this contract? Why not add to the contract? Make it more profitable for you. You are well above us, intelligence-wise, and we couldn't outwit you.
You hear your words kind of echoing through the forest, almost as if he said he's not interested in even hearing what you're saying. You're not even an inconvenience to him at this point.
Well, if you are to have your marriage tonight, we should have a feast for you. What time will you get married?
Oh, feast.
Once again, it just kind of echoes through the woods. And as you kind of look out beyond the tree line, you see that the sun has already crossed the noon, and it's slowly descending to the inevitable in just a few hours.
I fear this ferry cannot be done.
Well, then a toast to you and the new bride. And Bella pours like a drink. Toast.
So I'm going to take one of the drinks, but I'm not going to toast. Perhaps we should get back to guard the girl.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you. We'll be on our way then, since it seems like you do not want to cut a deal with us.
There is only one way to deal with these fucking things.
Huh?
I said there's only one way to deal with these fucking things.
He means something else with this fucking. So, it's not the same. There is a difference.
All right. You golly. You get back to town. Would you warn your experience with the Earl King or just play it chill?
No, I would. We would tell Bo, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I would actually approach Bo, and I'm gonna, I don't know how big Bo is, but Arnold is actually a pretty big, strapping guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I would basically just walk up to Bo and let him know that you are to remain in the room with her tonight, and I will guard the door. And it is not negotiable.
Yeah, he will just nod and say, if they get past you, they will not get past me.
Oui.
Oh, what does this girl have in her room? Does she have little plants?
Oh, a little forest.
He will say, we will not keep her in the room. We will take her down to the prison. It is the safest place. It is why it was built.
Oh,
You sound very nice.
We will make sure that there are no plants down there.
That doesn't sound very nice.
yes. I don't know about voluntarily going into a prison.
You'll say prisons keep people in, but are equally as good at keeping people out. So, Arnold, you're going to guard the door. Sarah, you are invited to accompany Elise and Bo, if you would like, or you can be on the outside.
No, I'll be inside with her.
All right. Thought that might be a safe place for you. Emmeline and Bella?
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely be outside, but I'll put like the sign against the evil eye on the outside of the prison walls and near the windows and everything, right?
Yep.
He's coming tomorrow, right? Or
Tonight. He's
tonight. Okay.
Oh, don't get your days wrong. Then you're off one day.
Yes, Bello. Don't criticize me. Yeah, so I would be definitely outside of the prison cell at least, and let me check. I think I want to actually cast a spell. Go ahead for a moment. I have to read it again.
Great. All right. We're going to fast forward to that night. Now, as the afternoon draws near, several people, mercenaries, are posted outside the gate as far as all the way into the prison. the rough thing is the prison is alongside one of the walls, but since all the protection is in that area, some of the other houses and cabins do not have any protection whatsoever. And so, hopefully, the Earl King is only coming for Elise. Otherwise, he might get a bigger bounty of common people. Did you find your spell?
Yep. Yeah, I will call a spirit. So, I don't know how long that actually take, but I would imagine that I would do that still at home, quotation marks, in my cottage. And I would take care that no Sarah is close. Like, I would actually give her a task, like get some milk or whatever. And then I would perform that spell. And
What level is that?
level 1. And she doesn't use the spell like magic circle, and she doesn't bind her spirits. Instead of doing that, she usually offers some kind of tribute or
So you sacrifice Sarah.
Exactly.
This
No.
What's the name of the spell?
Summon Spirit 1.
All right, cool. I found Summon Spirit 2. There we go. All right. Yeah, you know what the spirit does, right?
What it does?
Yeah. Would you like to summon a fairy? That would help me out a lot.
No.
All right.
No. I want to actually call an angel.
Okay. And what will this angel do?
This angel is supposed to like be the guardian of Elise, and I would like.
This was the game-breaking spell that I tried to keep you from choosing.
Oh fuck no! Okay.
No, I love it. No, I love it. I want it. I want it. Too late. You can't go back.
Okay. Yeah, I would be up to change it to.
Nope,
to
too late.
Devil
We don't have time for you to read another spell and find out how to use it.
Okay.
Yeah. So you summon an angel, and so.
I mean, it's only level 1, so it's.
Oh yeah,
it's a would-be angel.
Yeah, trust me, it's screwed. All right. Well, all right. Let me speed this up. So there's like a divine presence inside the prison room. Can they see the angel, or is there any?
I would say it's like some kind of glow, maybe in the air with the shape of a humanoid, and maybe you can even see the wings. But in my mind, it would be only visible for people with a low perversity, maybe.
All right. So Sarah, you see like a guardian angel in the room.
Okay, I'm gonna go on to my knees and begin to pray, and I'll have Elise do the same.
All right. You see that Bo, he is aware of this presence, but he also figures prayer is a bad thing. So he's kind of looking out this very small window where he can see upon. You see that he kind of says a prayer underneath his breath because this window kind of meets his house. Where his wife and 2 small children are, knowing that if this stand doesn't work, he's protecting the governor's daughter instead of his own. As the sun goes down, more and more shadow enters the forest. And in spite of the shadow, there does appear to be kind of a dark figure on a horse looking over the town. Anyone who is not in the prison could be in a position to see that. However, this figure is staying right on the edge. However, as soon as dark begins creeping more and more out of the tree line, he'll hold his finger out and point to the town. And these dark, terrifying creatures are going to begin running toward the town. Anyone who, since both of you are trained fighting these things, probably everybody but Sarah will know these things are called abortions. Basically, out of the beauty of the earth, these things were created to contrast the beauty. Typically, they're caged up in hell or just in the chaos, but they're the reason why, you know, in contrast to beautiful weather, there's still hurricanes. Even in contrast to the beautiful flowers, there's still thorns. And so these ugly demonic creatures begin running through the town or toward the town in this no man's land. At first, these mercenaries are able to meet them relatively easily. And very quickly, you'll see them beginning to be cut up, and this darkness just begins spilling across the ground. But they keep on spawning in more and more number. Bella or Emmeline, is there anything that you could do at this point, or are you going to wait till they get closer?
I would get, it looks like they feed off the darkness, so I would try to get a big bonfire. Like,
Right.
Either outside of the, well, I'm not inside the prison, so it has to be outside, like a big bonfire, so it's bright, and try to cut off the shadows.
Nice. Yeah. What about you, Emily?
I don't have any useful spell here. Would I know by seeing them if there is anything that they hate, like fire, what Bella mentioned, but maybe is there anything else?
Honestly, these things, they're not necessarily weak against light. In like small doses, they're relatively easily defeated. But when they gang up, they form like big thunderstorms. So at least while they're separate like this, they can be defeated relatively easily.
Okay. And how many are we speaking here? How many would I see right now?
Only about a dozen have kind of ran out of the forest.
Okay. So, where is Arnaud?
He is at the prison door. He can hear like the chaos outside, but it's still a couple 100 feet away. This fighting is happening outside the city.
Would you hear me if I shout?
Depends if you're at the prison or.
Yeah, I would be like standing in front of it, or maybe.
Yeah, he could probably, if you positioned yourself somewhere he could hear you.
Yeah. So I would shout, Arnaud, he's sending his armies. We have to stop them now, or they will overrun us.
So I'll move to where I can see out the window and see what's going on. Yeah,
and you see these little, even smaller than human-sized, just spirits of darkness. And you see that relatively easy, these mercenaries are taking care of them. But when one does get a strike against the mercenary, you see that if they get hit in the arm, their arm kind of begins turning white and it looks like it's growing weaker. However, you can see in the tree line a second group of these abortions are about to leave. And if many more ranks get sent, surely the mercenaries will be overpowered.
Shit. So, is Emmeline and them, are they standing outside the prison?
Bella is outside with a bonfire. Emmeline's kind of halfway, like at the edge of the prison, so she can see what's happening.
Yeah.
You're at the door to the prison, and then the rest are like inside one of the cells. While this is happening, it will take a couple rounds for them to reach you. So by this time, the second round of creatures have made their way, and not only are they quickly overpowering these mercenaries, but you see as they run over the fallen darkness that their fallen companions have spilled out, this darkness gets pulled to them, and they begin growing in size. Bella, these creatures aren't pulled to the fire. However, one of the benefits of you being a gypsy, and by benefits I mean one of your curses, is you're desired by the dead, and so you see a couple of these creatures distracted by their mission, and they're beginning to come toward you.
Yeah.
Like
I'm putting on my brass knuckles, one brass knuckle over each hand.
Nice. You see the first line of mercenaries are beginning to fall. And so go ahead and make... you can make an attack against these things.
So how does that work?
You need to roll under your dex.
Okay.
Or under your strength, depending which better.
Okay, I'll do my dex.
All right.
I get to attack twice. I looked.
Yep.
So I missed with first punch. Oh, I missed with the second punch. Swish, swish.
Yeah, so these things are kind of these dark figures anyway. They have like this strange body shape. It's just made out of chaos. However, they're beginning to close in on you quickly. Now these abortions have grown even to being human size, if not larger. And a couple of them are beginning to breach the walls. I will roll an attack. Ooh, that's a really good roll. Bella, well, that's a bad damage roll. Bella, this thing, as you reach out to punch, it's going to dodge your punch, but a little bit of it is just going to touch your arm, and you feel your arm kind of go cold and numb as you take 1 point of lethal damage.
So I have an armor class of 1. Does that take 1 point away, or?
No, that gets added to their roll.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay,
so only 1 damage. That's not bad. Would you like to try to attack back against this?
Yes. Oh, another miss.
You only had to roll under your dexterity.
Yeah, I'm rolling high.
Okay.
2 misses. Swish, swish.
All right. Yeah, with your hand kind of growing cold and numb, you don't quite have the speed or strength in it. And now this creature is definitely closing on you. Within the next round or so, this is going to breach the wall, and it will just be 50 or 60 feet from the prison. Would Emmeline or... which, Emmeline, that means they're getting kind of close to you. Where you are or Nolt like to do anything?
Boy.
I'm not sure.
All right.
The only thing I would, or Nolt would think to do is to shout down to them and tell them to get inside the prison and to bar the doors.
Yeah, they were kind of relaxed. They weren't quite in full defense, but with you yelling that, you can tell that they're cranking the doors, closing them, staying safe. This interrupts your prayers enough, Sarah, that you do hear the sound of combat and pain and death. outside the window, even though you can't see out.
All right.
As I see them closing in, I like rack my brain really fast to find a spell, anything that would help at that moment, and I suddenly point my fingers at at those creatures, and my ring starts glowing a little bit, and I'm casting mass sleep, and that probably does nothing. So it says creatures that do not sleep are not affected.
Yeah, these things don't sleep.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, and I go pale as I see that it doesn't take any effect there, and I look to Arnaud and I say, "We have to back up. We have to back up fast!" And I rush into the prison.
So I'm gonna usher her toward the room where the daughter is.
That's already been barred and locked.
Okay. Well, just usher her toward the door anyway.
All right.
And position her. Is Sarah with her, or?
Yeah, Sarah, Emmeline, and Bo are in this barred locked chamber.
Oh, they're in the chamber.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why am I in there?
Yeah.
You're not in there with them.
But you said Emily. Okay.
Oh, not Emmeline. Sorry, Sarah.
Okay. Elise.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Elise and Sarah are inside the chamber.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll back Emmeline up, like to the door, and keep her behind me, and I'll draw my pistol and my iron dagger. And I'm really kind of out of ideas.
Yeah, and I take my dagger as well, looking at it a little bit sheepishly.
Bella, call heads or tails.
Heads.
All right. This creature's going to go to attack you. That was tails.
That's fine.
It rolled over, so it's going to miss you.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to punch it again.
All right.
Come on. Oh, 2 more misses.
What?
Wow.
How? Your dex is like, what, 12, 13?
12. Yeah, I've been rolling above that.
Golly. All right. So luckily you're hidden behind the fire, so only this one creature has gone for you so far. By this time, creatures have entered through the gate, through the prison, and you can inside here you see Bo looking, saying, "Oh, I hope that they follow commands, do not get distracted. They've already breached the wall. We might be protected, but the rest of the city is not."
I think we have to stop them.
Yes, yes, we will if they get this close. Hopefully, your friends have a plan.
Well, your sword is not going to stop them.
Um,
They're obviously devils. Only our faith can stop them.
these things are going to begin to pour in. You hear them kind of banging on the door of the prison. Bella, heads or tails?
Heads.
All right, you get to go first.
Okay, let's try again. Yay, 2 hits.
Nice. So
it's-
roll 2d6.
Yeah. A 6 and a 4.
Nice. Yeah, Ash, that's going to be enough to destroy this thing, and you'll see, like, with your punches, almost like popping, like poking a water balloon, this evil in it begins to spill out, and it collapses. But this darkness is going to pull away from you, and you see it's going toward another approaching beast. these creatures, a bunch of them are pounding. At this point, there's dozens. There has to be 40 or 50 that have breached the wall. Some of them are even larger in size. They're pounding down the prison. But outside the window, you see some have gone astray. And you're beginning to hear cries and screams and weeping as they're entering into some of the unprotected houses. About this time, with a great cold breeze, this big fortified door to the prison is going to be knocked open, and Arnold and Emmeline, you're going to see a very large, like blob of darkness come pouring in toward you.
I grab an Arno's arm. This is the end.
So I'm gonna look at her and say, "Not yet." And I'm gonna holler for like as many of the guards as I can to come to the hallway with us. And I'm gonna start praying in Latin.
Nice.
And like I said, I've got my pistol, and I pull. Well, I already said that, pistol and dagger out.
Yeah. Typically, you need very low perversity for faith, but I'll let faith work. You need to roll under charisma.
Okay. Yeah, because most of my perversity is basically due to
Yeah.
doing what has to be done in order to get these demons.
So roll under charisma at -3, since you do have the creepy presence.
All right, so that -3 would give me 11. And I got a 3.
All right, nice. So this creature should be going toward you, and then you see it's going to kind of halt, almost like it's hitting a wall, kind of shrink back, allowing some of these other soldiers to get some blows on it. And even though they're slicing down portions of this blob and it's spilling all over the place, it's almost as if this the floor is slanted, because these evil bits that get chopped off are just pulling straight back toward this creature. At least, but you made the stand, at least for the first round. You see that inside Kara, that Bo has pulled out a dagger, and this dagger immediately like calls your eyes because it's very beautiful, but the handle of it looks like an alchemist almost. There's this strange, like pinkish, greenish color, and when he grabs it with his hand, you see that it begins flowing all the way through the hilt, and you see he's holding it in his hand. And you're kind of as if he's ready to make his last stand. Do you do anything, Sarah?
Yeah, I'm going to get Elise behind me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to pull my little gold necklace out that has a little cross on it.
Awesome.
I'm going to stand by to use faith if anything comes through.
Awesome. Heads or tails, Morgan?
Oh, sorry, muted.
Yeah.
Heads.
Heads. All right, you get to go first. You see this creature about twice the size of the one that you could hit earlier.
I'll try to sucker punch it.
All right.
1 hit.
Nice. You can roll damage.
4.
4. All right, this is going to be a relatively good hit. At this point, it's so big, it's not even going for a dodge. However, as you hit it, it's going to try to kind of close and encapsulate you. And you're going to take 3 points of lethal damage. Back to Arnold and Emmeline. Are you going to try to keep using your faith to keep it back?
I mean, I reckon I'll yeah, Why? I guess I'll keep trying that as long as it'll work.
Yeah, all right. Roll it again. This time you don't have to factor the -3.
Okay, so just straight
Yeah, just
charisma.
straight charisma.
Shit. Nope, I got a 16 out of 14.
Yeah, almost to like the cries of the people outside, you lose your focus, and all of a sudden, almost as if this blob of an abortion was held up against this weight, it collapses on the ground, causing tremors at your feet.
Is it dead? Is it dead?
And it moves toward you.
Fuck.
Is that my whole action?
I'll let you do something else. Might as well get one more before you die.
I'm gonna shoot it.
All right, shoot it.
Nice.
I got one bullet, so to shoot, I guess it's my dexterity.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's a. So I'm gonna attempt to use my feat of dexterity.
All right.
Which I think raises my dexterity by 2, I believe. I think that's what that does. For the rest of the day.
All right.
So that'll give me a 17.
You're actually level 3, so I think you can do it you're level 5, so you can do it twice
Oh, okay.
a day. But yeah.
All right. So, I got a 15 out of 17.
Nice.
Good thing I did that.
Yeah, you're going to be able to shoot it, and just the explosion off of it, it's just going to blow a hole. And you see that some of this darkness has to pull back away from you to reform and kind of congeal. So you have slowed it down a little bit.
Okay.
Emmeline, anything?
I would imagine she just hides behind the apparently very crafty man. I don't have anything I can do.
All right. Back in the shell, Bo is looking through the window, and these stray abortions are just outside of his house. And in his mind, kind of quietly under his breath, he's cursing, saying, "We couldn't hold. We couldn't hold. We have to do what's best." Would you say something?
So they're going to his house. So
Yeah.
Is there a way? Can we get to his house from here?
Nope. You guys are locked in prison.
All right.
He chose protecting Elise over his child. But you see him kind of looking at Elise and past you, and with this dagger in his hand, he's getting close to Elise. And you can see just like this anger and despair in his eyes.
So I look at him and I say, "Listen, we have to stop this evil."
Mm-hmm. He says, "That's what I'm doing," kind of angrily in a manner that you've never seen him. And he's definitely about.
So I say, "Bo, give me the dagger." And I stick my hand out. You know it's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Let's make a
Okay.
strength contest.
Okay. Strength?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I was just going to try to convince him to give it to me, but all right,
Yep.
I'll try to wrestle it from him.
No, it's not really for that. All
Okay.
right.
All right, so strength, I have a 9, so I failed.
All right. Well, yes, context will be a little bit different, but the fact that you failed means you probably failed overall. With one hand, he's going to take you and push you against the wall so that you are kind of hit your head. And looking at him, you're going to take 3 points of non-lethal damage.
Oosh, okay.
As he easily shoved your small body. However, once he goes to stab, this angel spirit is going to kind of blind him, and he's going to drop the dagger, and it's going to kind of slide into the corner where Elise is.
Okay.
Bella, you see that these darkness more and more of these creatures are beginning to notice you and sense you, and their darkness is actually bringing down the brightness of the fire. And you quickly find yourself with this one creature you're fighting and two other smaller ones approaching you.
I'm going to look for I want to lead them away from the prison and maybe out the other side of the town. Or is there a back exit, or is there the gate the main way out?
I mean, you're a little bit outside, so you could definitely find a way.
So the idea is to lead them away from the girl and everything. So I will take flight.
Nice. Yeah, you'll be able to find the gap. There is chase mechanics, but so your speed is 9, right?
Yeah, and I have sneaky also. So
yeah, so you're gonna move quicker than these things, but these things are going to chase you.
Yeah.
But and honestly, you're attracting more and more of them, taking them away from where they're going to go. Inside the prison, this creature, you see at this point, it's kind of knocked out the 4 or 5 guards that were hitting it from its side, and it's almost forming a big wave to knock down the door to get into where Elise is. And here's the thing, it's trying to take out the wall, not even caring that Arnold and Emily, you guys are in front of the wall. Like, it's looking past you.
Can I ask you a question?
Yep.
Can I see, if I ran up to the door, would I be able to see Arnold and Emily? Because there's an opening in the door, right?
There's like a very small, like, sliding thing. Yep.
I wanna take the dagger off the ground and run up to that sliding thing and try and call for them to try to give them the dagger.
All right. So you open up and call.
Yeah.
And I think during this.
Faint.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna faint.
Yeah, I think that during this, it's kind of where like the stabbing was taking place. So you kind of hear the shriek of Elise and probably like the thud of Sarah as you open and realize that there's chaos inside too.
Okay.
Sarah, make a roll to see if you faint.
Okay. Aha, I don't.
You don't?
No,
All right. Well,
unless anything might, well, even if anything affected it, I don't think.
Bella, you're gonna see that you make more and more distance between these things behind you, and by the time you turn around, you don't see them anymore. Emmeline and Arnold, just about the time that you're ready for this big wave of darkness to hit you, it's going to kind of vaporize and vanish. And inside the shell, Sarah, while Bo is being blinded, and while the angel's protecting Elise, you're going to see what ends this. Because as these darknesses disappear, kind of the light that was lighting up the prison is in vision again. And you see on the ground, Elise has shoved this dagger that Bo was carrying into her own stomach. And you see the life begin to drain out of her eyes as this fluid drains into her stomach.
Oh,
and
shit.
As this fluid completely disappears, all of the darknesses around completely disappears. And this sacrifice has ended the trouble, at least for now, because that's where we're ending the session.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I go over and I scoop her body up and I hold her and I weep.
Yep. All right, that's a good ending.
So yeah,